class is a more practical class, and in this section we are going to be talking about defining positions in AutoCAD. So we are going to see how we can be able to specify location of points when we are creating objects. When we are creating objects in AutoCAD, there are 5 basic methods we can use to specify points using the program. And the first point there is the interactive method. The interactive method is the simplest method of all of them, and it involves just taking up the object or the tool. For instance, I want to create an object using the line tool, so I take up the line tool, and on my interface I can easily start clicking. Remember, I am not using any coordinate system to locate my points. I'm clicking, I'm trying to form my object. So when I'm doing this, I am interacting with the computer system. So this is the interactive method. It has no format. It's just straightforward. Now the second procedure or the second method is the absolute coordinate method. This absolute coordinate method is same like the Cartesian coordinate. The absolute coordinate method. Now the format for this absolute coordinate method is x, y. The reason for this method is if you want to locate a particular coordinate system using the AutoCAD software, and you want the coordinate system to make reference to the origin, so you use the absolute coordinate method. You want a particular coordinate system to make reference to the origin of your interface, so you use this method. This is the origin of our working area. This is the origin of our interface. So if I want to locate a particular point with reference to the origin, now recall that the origin is a point where our x is 0 and our y is 0. That is a point where x and the y direction meets together. Now I want to create an object, or I want to start an object, or I want to start a job that will make reference to the origin, and the job will have an s distance of you just call it x, or horizontal distance. So an s distance or an s value of 50, an s value of 50, and a y value of 100, an s value of 50 or a y value of 100. So I'll click, or I'll just select the line, and on the command area I'll type 50, 100. So you press enter on your keyboard. Now this is the point. Now if you take from your x-axis to this direction, you will measure out 50, and you take from this direction upward, you will measure out 100. So you now take up their point of intersection, and this is the point of intersection of the value I've just mentioned. Remember, it made reference to the origin. And if I want to locate the origin of our coordinate system, I'll still use this method. So I'll select this line, and I'll press 0, 0 on my computer keyboard, and I'll press enter. Now this is the origin of our job. That is the job of the absolute coordinate method. So it helps you locate coordinate of points making reference to the origin. Now the third method is the relative rectangular coordinates. The relative rectangular coordinate method. Now this relative rectangular coordinate method makes reference to the last point of your job. It makes reference to the last point. And the format is at the format is at x distance, y distance. You put at on your computer keyboard. There is an at key there. Majorly on the 2, hold down your shift key and press 2, then you can locate the at command. So for instance, I want to work on something like this, and here is now my last point. This particular method makes reference to the last point. The last point serves as your origin. Okay, now assuming I am in this position right away, so let us zoom the stuff a little bit, and we are going up. Okay, now if we are going up now and we want to go up to a level of 120 millimeters, 120 millimeters from this point now. Now remember that this point is my last point now, and if here is my last point and I'm going up, that means the value of s at this point is 0, and the value of y, okay, I said I'm going up to 120 millimeters, that means the value of y is 120 millimeters. So on my command area, the command I'll issue is output at the value of s is 0, that's 0, 120, and I'll press enter on my computer keyboard. Now this is the point has been located, and if I'm going along this direction, that means this point now is my last point. This method makes reference to the last point. Here is now my last point, and I'm going along this direction. So if I'm going along this direction and here is now my origin, that means the value of y is now 0, and okay, assuming I'm going to, up to a distance of 150 millimeters, okay, from this my new origin now, following this method. Okay, that means y is 0 because you're not going up, you're not going down, is at this point. So you have to issue the command at the value of s, which is now 150, comma the value of 0, and that's the value of the y direction 0. You press enter on your keyboard. Now this is the point. Okay, you can as well do for some others using this method, that is the relative rectangular coordinate method, and the format is at s, y. The next method is the relative polar coordinate method. The relative polar coordinate method. This method also makes reference to the last point. It's almost similar to the relative rectangular coordinate method. It's almost similar to the relative rectangular coordinate method. The only difference is that it uses angle to assign its own positions. It uses angles to assign its own positions. For instance, if I'm going down, the format is there is you have to put at, you put the distance, and you put less than the angle, and it makes here the origin. So here is the origin, and it's okay, it's 0. It's 0, so that means if you're going down, the distance value should be less than 90 degrees because 90 degrees is up here. So the distance value should be less than 90 degrees. So if you're going along this direction, here is 0 now. Remember, here is 0. That means any value that is going along this direction will be less than 0. And any value along this direction will be less than 180 degrees. And any value along this direction will be less than 270 degrees. Okay, for now, here is our origin, and we are going along this direction, and I want to go to a distance of 65 millimeters. So on my command line, all I have to do is to type at, I'll issue the distance 65, then you locate the less than sign, the less than sign, and you put the angle, which is 90. So you press enter. This is the stuff here. Now if I'm going along this direction now, and here I'm making here as my last point now, and I'm going along this direction, that means it's going to any value I input there will be less than 0. So I want to go to a distance of 50 millimeters. So all I have to do now is to press at on my computer keyboard. So I'll put 50 and the less than command 0, and I press enter. Now this is the point I've just assigned. So when I'm done doing this, all I have to do is to right click and I'll click enter. That is the stuff here in Autocad. So that is, we just treated the relative polar coordinate method that uses angle to assign positions in Autocad. The last one is the direct distance entry technique. The direct distance entry technique, let me change the line type here to a solid line. Okay, the direct distance entry technique. This is the most used method, okay, when we are assigning positions in AutoCAD. Okay, it is very simple, and all you have to do now, assuming I want to assign positions using the line tool, all I have to do is to just to click the line command, and assuming I want here to be my starting point, I left click, so I just look at the line. This makes it straight for you. If you want the line to be constrained just in 2 directions, you can click on the auto mode to make it straight. Okay, and if I'm going along this direction and I'm going up to a distance of 300 millimeters, so I just type 300 and I press enter on my keyboard. This is the distance. If I'm going down up to a distance of 20, I just type 20. Remember, I had to position the stuff down, so I'll type 20 and I press enter. I'm going along this direction, 20 again. I type 20 and I'll press enter on my keyboard. I'm going down again. Okay, this is 20. I press enter. Okay, I'm going this direction, 20. I press enter. Okay, that is the direct distance entry technique. So you just issue the distance direction directly using your keyboard, and you have to first of all position the direction, then you issue the command. Okay, I've with this little exposition, I've been able to explain to you the 5 basic methods of applying or specifying points or lines when we are creating a geometric entity, a planar geometric entity in AutoCAD. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this little exposition. We are going to be applying these methods mostly when we are creating our mechanical designs in AutoCAD. So I hope you found this class very much interesting. See you in my next class. Thank you so much.